just the other day, the FSS commander came in and spent a couple, I think it was about an hour just hitting the golf balls. So.
Was he any good?
There was, he and Mr. Kramer were making jokes about it.
He hesitated. Did you hear that? Hey everybody, it is Jen from Holloman Marketing. I am at Angel Fire Resort with Carlos from Outdoor Rec. We are on a ski trip this weekend that Carlos planned. He plans all of the events for Outdoor Rec. How many events do you typically plan a year?
Say about 45 to 50.
Oh my gosh.
I try and take some weekends off, and then some weekends are just hard to fill.
How far in advance do you plan the trips?
Try to plan about 3 to 4 months in advance. So right now we've got May figured out and are trying to plan for June.
Okay.
So that's looking like rafting, sunset horse riding, that kind of thing.
Nice, and I know we have the hot air balloon ride coming up in a couple months as well.
Yes.
Awesome. So what do you look for when planning the trip?
So for planning trips, on any of my trips like this one, I have a feedback form that I give to all the participants.
Mm-hmm.
Usually only get like 50% responses, but part of it is asking what they want to see, and so a lot of times we get comments about like off-roading, ATV, UTV stuff.
Yeah.
And because of a lot of feedback like that, we're doing a couple in the spring, one in April and one in May. So a lot of it comes from user feedback, whether they're the ones that go on trips or the people that come into Outdoor Rec and say what they'd like to see as well. So
What are some of your most popular trips?
we have a trip where we go horse riding with a company called Acacia Riding Adventures.
Okay.
They're really good at what they do, and the pictures that come back that we post on social media tend to be like advertised themselves. But the horse rides fill up. We could probably fill it up every month if we wanted to, but for the sake of variety, I space it out to every other month. The skiing trips fill up every time, so.
Yeah, and one thing when you're planning all of these trips that you take into consideration is transportation is covered, right? So anytime somebody signs up for an Outdoor Rec trip, everything's covered from the transportation to the activity when they sign up for it, right?
Generally, the only thing that isn't covered is food, and that on any camping trips or some trips where we work with the outfitter, the outfitter will provide that food. So like on rafting trips, they'll provide it, and that's part of the cost as well. But on things like ski trips or horse rides or like UTV trips, a lot of them, we don't cover the food. So.
Okay. Now, have you seen a lot of friendships develop on these trips where people didn't know each other, they sign up, it's their first time, and they're repeat customers. They really love to continue going on trips. Friendships form?
Yeah, I think there are some people that connect having met through the trips. What I tend to find are people within the same shop where someone will say, hey, I'm going on this trip, you guys should come along, and then they may not necessarily talk to that person in their shop much, but then they end up being friendly and going on a lot of trips together. So
now, who's your target audience for the trips?
It depends on the activity, but I try to get either the younger airmen or the airmen with families. So for a lot of the camping trips especially, I try and get the families to bring along their kids on the trip.
But all of the trips are open for anyone.
They're open to anyone,
Awesome. Now, Outdoor Rec, you guys rent a lot of equipment. You have all sorts of things that you have available for people to rent out. Really, anyone, any DoD card holder, right, can rent equipment.
Yes.
What are some of the most popular items that you rent out, and what are some items that you have that would actually surprise people that are available?
So our skis and snowboards rent out very frequently. Definitely during the spring and summer. As far as our trailers go, we have a couple dunk tanks, and the dunk tanks rent out very frequently.
Yeah.
I think it's because people like to see their
Leadership.
senior NCO get dunked into water.
Yep.
And that's almost every month we get 2 or 3 rentals of the dunk tank.
You have camping gear. Do you have mountain bikes for rent?
We do have mountain bikes, we do have camping gear, we have
Grills.
a lot of the grills available, camping trailers.
Do you get a lot of people coming in for the golf simulation?
Just the other day, the FSS commander came in and spent a couple, I think it was about an hour just hitting the golf balls.
Was he any good?
There was, I mean, he and Mr. Kramer were making jokes about it.
He hesitated. Did you hear that?
You know,
Sorry, Colonel Martin.
Mr. Kramer was making a lot of jokes like, "Oh, that you could have done much better than that." Like, so.
That was a great Mr. Kramer impression. That was
Yeah,
good.
he was. They were being playful with each other
Yeah,
in a way. So.
yeah. If you could be any type of potato, what kind of potato would you be? French fries, hash browns, tater tots, mashed potatoes, any type of potato. in
Oh,
any
honestly,
form.
just a baked potato.
Okay. Would you have would you have sour cream, bacon, cheese?
This is gonna sound weird,
Okay.
but for like a few years, I just like, if I needed a snack, instead of getting like cookies or anything else in the evening, I just bake a potato. I wouldn't put anything on
Just
it.
a
Just a
simple
baked
baked
potato. Put a
potato.
bit of butter on it, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
All
my
right.
dessert for like 2 years running.
Carbs. I love it. Carlos, thank you so much for chatting with me today and for organizing this trip. It's been incredible. If you haven't already, be sure to check out one of the upcoming trips that Carlos has planned. You can go to Outdoor Rec and see what is going on. Thanks so much for watching. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Whew. Blah, blah, blah.